Meet Masoud Pezeshkian. You've probably never heard that name, but he's an important dude. He's the president of Iran. He's 70 years old. He's also pretty smart. He's a heart surgeon, and he is demanding that Iran end the war with America. This is a remarkable turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. Iranian president says it's time to end the war. End the war. The war should end. End the war. Significant statements from Tehran today point to a growing recognition among Iranian leadership that the severity of the economic situation and erosion of Iran's ability to use the Strait of Hormuz as leverage in light of the U.S. military gains, opening the corridor and opening the strait. It has now been revealed that the United States military has personally escorted 700 million barrels of oil out of the Persian Gulf through the strait. Well, then ask the question, who controls the Strait of Hormuz? If Iran is sitting there belligerently firing off a few drones, not hitting anything, shooting missiles blind, and unable to control the outflow of oil, and yet they can't get any of their oil out. Iranian oil tankers are just sitting there. Every satellite shows they're just sitting there, rotting in the water, rusting in the water. Who controls the war? Trump controls the Strait of Hormuz. And now Iranian leadership is saying it's time to surrender. He stressed that the government does not deny the shortages and that it would be a better position to end the war now, while Iran is in a position of strength and dignity, and the entire world recognizes its victory. Fine. And the speaker of their parliament stated that no matter how much military power Iran possesses, if the people are hungry, it will not be able to endure. What did we just say? We just said this yesterday, that these are siege tactics and that nobody knows better, our CIA, how you actually topple a regime is you make the people hungry. The people don't have bread, they will revolt. It doesn't matter if it's France. It doesn't matter if it's Ethiopia. It doesn't matter if it's what country it is. When you cannot provide the basic needs and services, when people see their children hungry, they'll do anything. They'll go after any institution and topple any government, no matter how dictatorial or bloodthirsty. At this stage, there's no indication that Iran is prepared to show flexibility. Well, ladies and gentlemen, flexibility will be flexed on Iran because right now it is 2 million Iranian rials to the United States dollar. The Islamic Republic currency is now worthless. 2 million. I mean, listen, this is like the Deutschmark, right? This is the type of hyperinflation that leads to a complete and total collapse. This is what happened in the lead up to World War II. Hopefully, this doesn't lead to a third world war. And I think that's what everyone's trying to potentially prevent here. It was 70 rials to the U.S. dollar on the eve of the Islamic Revolution. I suppose he's hearkening back then to the late 1970s, 1980s. The Islamic Revolution was a catastrophe for Iranians. Yes, it is. It has robbed and destroyed their wealth. Iranian president says Iran should end the war now, holds a position of strength, recognize the victory. Why not? I mean, I'm saying, why not? This guy's smart. He's a smart cookie, man. Again, he's a heart surgeon. What happens next? What happens next for Iran is America just keeps pumping oil out of the Persian Gulf. Iran keeps getting humiliated, and then they can't feed their army. An army that doesn't have any food can't fight. An army that has no fuel can't fight. You know, there's a massive gas shortage in Iran right now. Yes, that's right. Because Iran doesn't have the capacity to actually process their own gasoline. Iran does not have the sophistication to actually do the type of high-level refinement that is required. That's why they have to ship it. And they ship it to these massive refineries to make it automotive grade or machine grade. They just have the very crude stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Iran has a massive fuel shortage for their own nation. So they're starving themselves. It is a catastrophe. Why wouldn't we want to make peace right now? Why not? Why not? Everyone says, oh, well, maybe it's time to starve them all out. Please. What I think every person needs to clear-eyed realize is that all peace that's ever been made, virtually all of it, has been an ugly peace. It's been a peace with people who you don't like or you don't want to make peace with. It's been deals with regimes, administrations, dictators, or leaders who are irascible or not polite, maybe not nice, maybe not the favorite of the West, but it's a peace deal nonetheless. And a peace deal, an ugly peace deal, is so much better than a hot war. And we've been in a war with Iran, and it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great for the American economy. It hasn't been great for gas prices. It hasn't been great for messaging for the Republican Party. And that's a matter of fact. And so I am ready for an ugly peace with Iran. And why not let Iran save face? You'll get a better peace deal then. Obviously, you could do your siege tactics here and starve everyone out. But eventually, I mean, it's going to look like, it might actually backfire, quite frankly, if it gets too nightmarish for Iran, right? If it becomes like a humanitarian issue and then you have like what happened in Syria. Why do you think there's like 50 million Muslims that poured into Europe? It's because the Obama administration browbeat Europe in order to take all the Muslims from Syria while Obama was bombing Syria and Libya every single day. Barack Obama did worse in Libya and Syria than Donald Trump has done in Iran. That's just a matter of fact. That is a matter of historic record. And all of those refugees poured into Europe. It destroyed Europe. It's destroyed it. It ended Europe as we know it. And it's it's the most evil sin, most evil civilizational suicide that's happened in your lifetime or mine. And you don't want that situation in Iran. I will state it definitively. I do not want there's 100 million people that live in Iran. I don't want like 50 million refugees displaced, Iranians displaced all over the world, back into Europe, back to America. Terrible. A terrible, terrible idea. So very good. Very excellent to see. The Islamic Republic admits military power cannot prevent regime collapse and economic failure, as Iranians are left hungry. In a rare high-level public admission of the regime's structural fragility, parliamentary speaker and former IRGC commander, core regime figure said, no matter how much military power we have, if the people are hungry, we don't have financial circulation, economic growth, and domestic production, we will not endure. So he's straight up admitting. He's admitting that what Donald Trump is doing, the siege tactics, work. The Islamic Republic is now exporting no oil, cutting off its most important source of hard currency, and billions frozen in funds remain locked. Without oil revenue, the regime has less money to pay its bills, stabilize the real, finance imports, and fund the IRGC and its proxy work. The pressure compounds every single day. The regime is already struggling economically. Losing its oil lifeline is an existential threat. Look at this. Yesterday, a gathering of Iranian oil tankers on Karg Island. None of them are at the loading dock. All of them are just sitting rotting. Bad news. Bad play. So we'll see. Donald Trump says it's going to be economic D-Day. Seems to already be working. Keep the pressure up. Could we see potentially a peace agreement this weekend? That's when they like to sign them. That's when they like to just drop it over the weekend. You either drop a peace agreement or drop it a bomb. I prefer a peace agreement. Let me know what you'd prefer in the comments. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.